Dr. Elena Vasquez had been staring at the same cup of cold coffee for 3 hours when the universe decided to ruin her Tuesday. The Atacama Deep Space Array hummed around her like a metallic cathedral, its thousand-ish symphony pointed at stars that couldn't care less about her student loan debt or the fact that she'd spent the last 6 months listening to cosmic static while her peers published papers on theoretical xenobiology. "Another thrilling night in the void," she muttered, adjusting the quantum receivers for the 47th time. The displays showed the usual cosmic background radiation, punctuated by the occasional pulsar acting like a drunk lighthouse. Then everything changed. The signal hit like a sledgehammer to the skull. Not the gentle whisper SETI had trained her to expect, but a desperate scream that made the entire array vibrate. Elena's coffee cup shattered on the floor as emergency protocols kicked in, bathing the control room in amber light. "Holy shit," she breathed, fingers flying across holographic displays. The waveform was impossible, structured, layered, and definitely artificial. More importantly, it was directed. Not a broadcast, but a targeted transmission using quantum entanglement protocols that shouldn't exist for another century. The automated translation algorithms churned for 17 seconds before spitting out something that made Elena's blood run cold: Coalition command to Hegemony Reserve Fleet. Critical assistance required. Sector 7 Alpha compromised. Enemy advance imminent. Respond immediately. Elena's hands trembled as she ran the data through every verification protocol she knew. The transmission originated from somewhere in the Kepler 442 system, but the targeting coordinates were all wrong. According to the signal's quantum signature, it was meant for a civilization in the Vega system that, according to every model Elena had ever studied, wouldn't evolve intelligent life for another 50,000 years. "Computer, verify transmission authenticity," she whispered. Transmission verified. Quantum encryption matches no known Earth protocols. Origin point, 1,200 light-years distant. Signal age, approximately 47 hours. 47 hours. Someone had been screaming for help for 2 days, and by pure cosmic accident, humanity had answered the phone. The control room doors hissed open, and Elena spun around to find Zara Kim striding in with the confident swagger of someone who'd never met a classified system she couldn't hack. The quantum communications specialist looked like she'd stepped out of a tech magazine, all sharp angles and expensive neural implants that glittered at her temples. "Heard you caught something interesting," Zara said, not bothering with pleasantries. Her Korean accent mixed with Valley Girl inflection in a way that shouldn't work but absolutely did. The automatic alerts woke up half the Pacific Fleet. "How did you get here so fast?" Teleportation's still theoretical, but quantum tunneling through traffic is surprisingly effective. Zara grinned and plugged a crystalline data core into the main console. "Mind if I take a look?" Before Elena could protest, the displays exploded with new information. Tactical overlays, star charts showing fleet movements across impossible distances, and casualty reports that made Elena's stomach lurch. Entire worlds marked as evacuated, or worse, simply lost. This is a war," Elena stammered. "Not just any war," Zara said, her humor evaporating as she absorbed the data. "This is the losing side of a war. Look at these casualty projections. They're not asking for backup, they're asking for a miracle." The doors opened again, and Captain Rex Okafor walked in like he owned the place. Which, Elena realized, he probably did. The former military strategist had the kind of presence that filled a room, tall, dark-skinned, with scars that suggested his bureaucratic job hadn't always involved pushing papers. "Ladies," he said, his Nigerian accent thick with exhaustion. "We have a problem." 3 more arrays across the globe picked up the same signal. The UN Security Council is meeting in emergency session, and somebody leaked enough details to crash the stock market. Elena felt the weight of the situation settling on her shoulders like a lead blanket. "We intercepted someone else's distress call." "Worse than that," Rex said, studying the tactical displays. "We intercepted a distress call from people who think we don't exist yet." According to their galactic database, Earth is supposed to be a barren rock for another 50 millennia. Zara laughed, but there was no humor in it. So we're cosmic eavesdroppers who accidentally overheard the galactic equivalent of a 911 call. And judging by these fleet positions, whatever they're running from is heading straight for our neighborhood. Elena stared at the transmission data, her scientific mind racing through implications that made her wish she'd chosen a safer career, like bomb disposal or volcano surfing. The signal contained terabytes of tactical information, weapons specifications, and strategic data that could advance human civilization by centuries. The question is, Rex said quietly, what do we do about it? The next 18 hours blurred together like a fever dream. Elena found herself at the center of humanity's first interstellar crisis, surrounded by politicians who couldn't pronounce quantum entanglement and military officials who kept asking if they could weaponize the alien technology. The irony wasn't lost on her. She'd spent years searching for proof of extraterrestrial intelligence, and now she was drowning in it. The ethics committee wants a full report, Rex announced, walking into the makeshift command center they'd established in the array's main hub. Apparently, intercepting alien distress calls raises some philosophical questions about cosmic eavesdropping. Zara snorted from behind a wall of holographic displays. Ethics committee. We're talking about the possible extinction of an entire galactic civilization, and they're worried about wiretapping laws. Elena rubbed her temples, trying to ward off a headache that felt like it had its own gravitational field. The translated messages kept coming. More desperate pleas, tactical updates, and casualty reports that painted a picture of absolute disaster. The Kepler Coalition had been fighting something called the Devourers for over 60 years, losing ground with each passing day. Here's what I don't understand, Elena said, pulling up the strategic overview. If they're so advanced, how are they losing? These energy signatures suggest technology centuries beyond ours. Zara's expression darkened. Because they're not fighting technology. Look at these bioanalytics, the Devourers aren't a civilization. They're more like a cosmic plague. They consume entire ecosystems, absorb the biological and technological distinctiveness of their victims, then move on to the next target. The room fell silent except for the hum of quantum processors working overtime to decode alien data streams. Elena stared at the galactic map, watching red zones expand like a cancer across known space. Earth sat right in the projected path of expansion, a tiny blue dot waiting its turn. We could respond, Rex said quietly. The quantum communication array could reach them in real time. Offer assistance, share our location. And paint a giant target on humanity's back. Elena shook her head. We'd be inviting cosmic horror to our doorstep. Or, Zara said with a grin that didn't reach her eyes, we could do something really morally questionable. She gestured to the weapon specifications floating in the holographic display. This tactical data contains blueprints for technology that could advance human civilization by millennia. Fusion drives, matter conversion, gravity manipulation, it's all here. Elena felt something cold settle in her chest. You're talking about profiteering from genocide. I'm talking about survival, Zara shot back. The coalition is losing whether we help or not. At least this way, humanity gets a fighting chance when the Devourers show up. The moral weight of the decision pressed down on Elena like the atmosphere of Jupiter. Stay silent and let an entire galactic civilization die while Earth remained hidden, or respond and potentially doom humanity to the same fate. Either way, she'd spend the rest of her life knowing she could have made a different choice. There's a third option, Rex said slowly. We respond, but not as Earth. We create a false identity, claim to be from the civilization they were originally trying to contact. Buy the coalition time while keeping our real location secret. Zara raised an eyebrow. Cosmic identity theft. I like it, but the quantum signatures won't match. They will if we route the signal through the Vega system, Elena realized, her scientific mind already working through the technical challenges. Use their own relay network against them. The signal delay would mask any inconsistencies. For a moment, the three of them stood in silence, contemplating the magnitude of what they were considering. Humanity's first act of interstellar diplomacy would be an elaborate lie designed to buy time for a dying civilization while keeping Earth safely anonymous. So we become galactic con artists, Elena said finally. Offering hope to people we can't actually save, stealing their technology, and praying the monsters don't notice us. Welcome to First Contact, Rex said grimly. It's messier than the movies promised. Elena looked at the transmission controls, her finger hovering over the response key. Somewhere in the darkness between stars, an entire civilization was dying while she debated the ethics of cosmic deception. The galaxy had called for help, and humans had answered, they just hadn't decided what their answer would be yet. The universe held its breath, waiting for humanity's first word to the stars. Elena closed her eyes, made her choice, and pressed send.